I learned things about myself, about my personalities. I'm able to sort of read what they're thinking. And I always say, take what you need and leave the rest.
When you first heard the term adverse childhood experiences, ACE, did it help you understand your past differently?
Oh my goodness, yes. It was such a wonderful acknowledgement when I learned about adverse childhood experiences and the books that I was reading and researching. I saw myself on every page, and it made so much sense. It was so acknowledging to me that what I had experienced was very real, and that, the anxiety that I felt today is because it does not just go away. And I read a wonderful book called Childhood Disrupted by Nakazawa, and she had actually compiled all the latest research about ACEs. And you should see my book. Every page is underlined and dog-eared, and it was such an acknowledgement to me. And while of course I'm not happy that people have adverse childhood experiences, it makes so much sense that we are not outliers, that we're not crazy, that we're not making things up, that we're not just being sensitive, for instance. I learned things about myself, about my personality. So, for instance, experienced adverse childhood experiences where you're not in control of what's going on in your home situation, and you're never quite sure what's going to happen or when it's going to happen. Now, as an adult, I'm very keen on knowing what is going to happen and when. I like to have, a sense of knowing ahead of time. And so I have a lot of compassion and grace for myself, because I understand that is very normal for a person who had experienced what I experienced.
Thank you. So you found that, because of your experiences, you are more empathetic, you're more compassionate, not just to yourself, but to others, especially for younger children coming up.
And they talk about that as well in the research, that a lot of times people who have experienced trauma have a heightened awareness. And especially as a child, we had the fight or flight. Literally, physiologically, there are explanations for this, because our bodies are flooded with hormones that are meant to keep us alive. When we were, more ancient human beings, it was to keep us safe. Or if there was a tiger about to attack us, that adrenaline would help us to run or to take care of ourselves. But if your body is constantly flooded with these hormones, keeping you in a heightened state, you tend to be more aware of your surroundings. Not only that, but you have these heightened sense so that you can basically read the room. You can read people's body postures. You can literally smell if there's anger in the room. My senses became so heightened, and I could read people. And sometimes when I don't even want to know what people are thinking, I'm able to sort of read what they're thinking or what they're feeling. Then, of course, because of that, you are more empathetic to another person's suffering or another person's sadness, which can be a good thing. And you can channel that into being a wonderful caretaker or a teacher or a therapist. And that can be channeled for good. But you also need to be aware of how to protect yourself and how to take care of yourself. So I can tend to get very drained if I'm in a room with too many people, because I'm picking up so many signals. It's really overwhelming. And even just having these wonderful conversations with you, like this, if I'm talking a lot, I can tend to need some quiet time. And I know now how to recharge myself, how to recharge my central nervous system. And I did want to say, the research that I've studied, we now know that like 61 to 64% of adults have had at least one adverse childhood experience. And I want the listeners to to know that you can just Google Adverse Childhood Experiences Quiz. There's 10 questions and you answer them, and that will give you your score and an idea where you lie in the adverse childhood experiences. So they know that 61% to 64% of adults have at least one ACE, but 1 out of 6 adults has 4 or more. And Dr. Nadine Burke-Harris, who wrote the book, The Deepest Well, found that if someone has a score of 6 or more ACEs, their life expectancy can potentially decrease by 20 years. That's because of all of the diseases that one can get because your central nervous system or your immune system is diminished. I have a score of 7 out of 10. But the good news is that the same research is proving that the damage can be reversed with these exact modalities that I have intuitively practiced for the past 45 years. So they're saying being in nature, walking, hiking, Buddhism, spiritual studies, meditation, writing, psychotherapy, sobriety, all of these things are modalities that a person can use to heal. And that's why I hope My Pretty Baby is a guidebook if people don't know where to start, or, maybe they're not interested in Buddhism, but maybe they have their own spiritual practice that will help them. Or, sobriety, for instance, maybe some people don't have issues with sobriety, but perhaps someone else in their life, maybe it's Al-Anon or adult children of alcoholics that would be helpful to them. And I always say, take what you need and leave the rest. And one thing that's important to note that the researchers have found, while psychotherapy, talk therapy is really important, especially for trauma, in processing trauma, using the tool of EMDR, eye movement desensitization. And my therapist used another fabulous technique called IMTT, which is image transformation therapy, where you're able to process trauma in a gentle way without it re-triggering you, so that you get to the point that, of course, the memories don't go away, but it doesn't trigger your central nervous system as it did in the past. And so they have found that in addition to psychotherapy, and as Bessel van der Kolk says, the body keeps the score, and massage therapists say the issues are in the tissues. So we need to do somatic exercises, moving our bodies, walking, hiking, yoga, dance, meditation, massage. So doing some kind of somatic exercise along with psychotherapy and perhaps journaling, writing, all of those are going to help you in your healing.
Thank you. And you're quite right. These are some of the modalities that trauma specialists use for clients who have gone through any form of trauma. Thank you. And you found yourself in the music industry, a world that can be glamorous, but also deeply triggering for someone healing from trauma. Be safe and be positive. Don't forget to visit our social media handles: TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram at Rising Above Shadows of Abuse. Thank you and bye for now.